We are 350 episodes old, and we would love nothing more than to celebrate at a face-to-face party with all our lovely listeners. But alas, that is not possible. So instead, we're going to flip the celebrations on its head and become real party poopers. In this podcast, we're going to talk about the 10 party supplies you might have in your home that are not bringing the fun factor.
You're listening to the Declutter Hub podcast, bringing you tried and tested, no-nonsense tips and advice from the leading experts in decluttering and organising your home. Now here are your hosts, Ingrid Jansen and Leslie Spellman.
Hello and welcome, listeners. I'm Ingrid.
And I'm Leslie.
If you're new to the Declutter Hub podcast, you're so welcome. What you'll find is that we try and find a fun factor in the serious business of decluttering. And if you've been here for a while, you know exactly what we mean. So thank you so much for listening.
If you'd like to get involved in conversations relating to this podcast, it all takes place in our Facebook group. So come and join our lovely, warm, supportive community. To find the Facebook group, go to declutterhub.com/group to find out more. Or you can search for the Declutter Hub community on Facebook.
Well, Leslie, it's time to celebrate and it's time to sing. Celebrate good times. Come on. Do, 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 do. Woo-hoo! Oh my gosh, I love 70s music as well. I love a party. Why are we talking? Why are we being party poopers? I love parties.
Exactly. It was, We were trying to go down the party theme, and actually we are a decluttering website, so we need to declutter the fun out of everything. But actually what we're going to talk about today, we're going to hope that by decluttering some party supplies that are not fun, the parties that you do have are going to be more fun. That's the rationale that sits behind it. But thank you for doing your little sing-song, and congratulations on being 350 podcasts, not years, even though it feels like that some way. Old, Ingrid. 350. Like, we keep on going. And it's like, why was it 50 since the last time we celebrated? You know what I mean?
You know, it's so funny. Every kind of 50, we're like, wow, that's another year, right? Because we do a new episode every Friday. So every 50, we're like, that's another year of podcast that we've done. And we still are talking about it. And we love it. And we're just so grateful. Before we talk about anything else, listeners, thank you so much for being here, for listening in to us. We are so grateful and we're so loving it that you tune in, week out to hear us talk about decluttering and organizing, because that is everything that we love to do.
Yes, good job, really. It's a good job that people are still tuning in. But anyway, we are doing a 10 Things podcast. If you've not been with us before, we love a 10 Things podcast because it's a little bit of fun, really, more than anything else. So today we are talking about those 10 things that are lurking in your party supplies that might be just a little bit like, meh. So let's go. Number one.
Yes. Number one, please just get rid out of anything that looks a bit meh. And what are we talking about? We're talking about, for example, all those kind of tangled banners, those kind of decorations that look a bit crumbled and a bit creased and have just been used that one too many times and have like 25 bits of sticky tape on them.
There's something a bit weird, isn't there, really, Ingrid? Because we kind of like, they're quite expensive, aren't they, when we buy them? And so there is an argument that says you can reuse these things. And I've got loads of party decorations that, of course, that I bring out for different things, for birthdays and all that kind of stuff. But so we're not talking about ditching everything, but we are talking about looking and being evaluative about what you have got and whether it actually is enhancing your celebration or whether it just looks a little bit tired. So definitely those faded old ones, old-fashioned ones, do you know what I mean? All those kind of things need to go. So we'll keep it simple. If it's old, tatty, crumpled, let it go.
Yeah, I agree. Let's go to number two then, Leslie. Oh my gosh. We see this so many times when we are working with people in their houses, when we talk about this with our members and our membership. Get rid of all the leftover disposable tableware, right? So you got paper, so if you have a party, let's just randomly say you've got a 40th birthday party and you think, oh, let me get some cups and let me get some plates and some napkins and things. And I can actually now look at myself because, and we might need to do a tally on this, Leslie,
I
because
know.
I'm now thinking, there is still napkins from when Max was 18 last year. That's what we're talking about. You're not going to use it. Now, I'm not necessarily saying throw it away, because if you've got a nice amount of them, because if you accidentally overbought a little bit, if you got like 2 napkins left, you're okay to let them go, right? But if you've got like a whole stack of them and things, put them on a giveaway app, because other people will snap this up unused, obviously.
Well, you can just use it. So you
Yeah.
can just pretend that today's Max's 18th birthday and just use your napkins as a matter of course. It's an interesting one, really, because we talked about disposable tableware actually. And a few years ago, I must admit that when we do have a party, which is rare in the house, I actually prefer to use actual plates and actual glasses. I'm not really a big fan of paper and plastic and things like that. But there was one time, I think it was like, we said to Nathan that he could have some friends round for like a pre-prom, and it's when it was his prom. And then all of a sudden, somehow we ended up with like 80 people in our garden with food. I'm like, how did that happen? Because we always have like small gatherings of friends. And invariably, I have enough plates and glasses. I was given a load of glasses from somebody who owned a bar who was going, and she's like, I'm getting rid of all these glasses. I was like, that's great, because I do like, like kind of like Prosecco glasses and things like that, because you do use those kind of things. A lot of them get smashed quite a lot. But I've got those and I've got a lot of them, and I've got a space to store those, and I do bring them out for parties because it's kind of nicer, isn't it, to drink out of glass than plastic.
Yeah.
And so, but for this, I was like, I need some plastic cutlery because I didn't have enough cutlery. And so I chatted to one of my friends, and she's like, oh, we had a party recently. I've got loads of plastic cutlery. And so I'm talking like hundreds of plastic cutlery. And but you wash it. Like,
Yeah.
you're not going to throw away plastic cutlery. So when I was doing my utility room, I was redoing my utility room a few weeks ago. It came up and I was like, oh, I don't know really whether I should get rid of that. Because it seems wrong to get rid of so much plastic for a start. So I would just,
Mhm.
that should probably go on a giveaway site. But are you then going to need to buy it again? This is the question. If it's
Mm.
good quality, these were really good quality, like kind of Costco quality, get good quality stuff from Costco, kind of plastic knives and forks. And I was a
Yeah.
bit like, do I, don't I, do I, don't I? What do you think?
Yeah, I love a party as well. And we've got at least always one big barbecue every year for our friends and their kids, and the other people show up. And we've got, we like to celebrate the birthdays. We've got, we love having people over. So if it's good quality tableware, I would probably keep it because I wash it too. But I think is this a one-off event that you never, I would maybe then keep a small percentage and give away the rest, because you don't need to have hundreds, but you
Yeah.
could probably do with 50 knives and forks, if you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But
So maybe it's about, yeah, getting, but they're all there nicely contained in a box.
yeah,
That's the problem, aren't they? And then I
yeah,
look, I'm like, why have I got like 120 plastic knives that I've not used for like 5 years? And so,
yeah.
yeah, the tally on that one is definitely, I definitely still have those, even though we are recommending that you declutter them. So that's our number two. Now, number three, Ingrid, is all about fancy dress, really. So parties are, quite often involve fancy dress. What do we do with fancy dress costumes?
Um, I, I am not a very much a fancy dress kind of person. I don't know why, because I think I would actually love it, but
I
I,
know.
I do have a few bits, especially like Dutch stuff, obviously. Um,
Like what? Like clogs and a like what? Like
no,
what?
like orange t-shirts and an orange polo shirt and like a red, white, and blue flag and some kind of, those things you can put around your neck with like flowers in orange and in different colors. I think I once had like an 80s party, but I kept that stuff because I thought you never know. I think when it's a bit like out of the blue random, then I would say give it a second life because it's going to be up in your attic or basement or loft for like years and years. But like an 80s party, those things have come in handy. You know, the beads
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
the things you put around your ankle, the ankle warmers, and the little how do you call it? Frou-frou skirt or whatever. Yeah, what do you call them?
Rah skirt.
Rara skirt.
Frou skirt, yes.
Frou-frou skirt.
Do you know what? It's interesting actually, talking about fancy dresses. My daughter is going this weekend to a Bridgerton themed party and she's got a load of stuff and it looks incredible. She tried it all on for me last night. It looks absolutely fantastic. And then I did have like, so she was like, what am I going to put on my feet? So she got like a big underskirt thing, you know, like a big flouncy underskirt with like a net skirt over it. She's got like um like what, not a bodice, what do you call them, like thing that you strap up, you know, like a,
Yeah.
I think it's like a bodice, you know,
Corset.
corset. And then she got some pearls and all this kind of stuff. And then she's got my boots on, which look a little bit, I've got some boots that would definitely lend themselves to being a bit more Victorian. They look like they're laced up at the front. She looks absolutely fantastic. Do you know what I mean? So, but would you keep that stuff? You know, do you keep fancy dress items? Because, you know, particularly if you're an adult, you know, so you've definitely got to go through fancy dress costumes for children because they
Yeah.
probably have grown out of them unless you've got other kids that are younger. But once you get to an adult, you know, you really need to look at whether you got mileage out of that fancy dress costume and
Yeah.
look at whether you've got space because fancy dress costumes take up a lot of space. So
Yeah.
some people love a fancy dress. I've got a client, Joe, who absolutely loves dressing up. Do you know what I mean? Any excuse, it's dressing up. And so if that's you, you're going to recycle those things. But you need to look at how often you're doing this, whether you would want to go with something completely new every time, whether these are things, you know, we're both in Rockwire, right? So we have 80s parties all the time. And so we can kind of drag these things out. So there's some things where you know that you're going to reuse, but it's all about that realism, isn't it? So, but do
Yeah.
dig out those fancy dress costumes. Make sure that if there's two gloves, you've got both of them. You know, make sure it's washed and ready to go, things like that. So it's worth having a look and just paring down a little bit.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, Leslie, with kids, you know, that's a job that needs to go through probably at least once a year to see, you know, are the costumes still complete? Have I got everything? Have they outgrown it? Because sometimes the sizes they put in them very clearly, sometimes you kind of have to guess for the best and go, oh gosh, how long have I had this? Do the kids still fit this? And indeed, what can you reuse? Because sometimes they have school book days like forever. They have to dress up as characters, and then you can kind of the Harry Potter one comes back time and time again. But at some point, you have to go, okay, that's not valid anymore. Especially when they go to secondary school, that's normally it, isn't it?
I think the
Then
problem is with fancy dress though, Ingrid, is it's highly sentimental. So when you
yes,
dress your kid up, when your little child up on, and they look super cute,
I know.
and you have those memories, and so it becomes sentimental, right? Doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
So it's a tough one. I've still got what do you call it? A caterpillar costume that I put Leah in when we lived in America. So she was like 2, 3 years old. It's still up in the cupboard.
yeah.
I can't. And she could still wear it when she was 12 because she's so tiny, Leah, right? So she still had it on when she was 12 years old. I'm like, it just was this super cute, again from Costco. There's some great things, right? I mean, it's a nightmare to go to go to Costco if you're a cluttery person. Do you know what I mean? Got some fantastic things. And so they are highly sentimental. So this is not
Yeah.
easy.
No.
Okay, we go on to number 4.
Yes. Look at your balloons. You know, if you like bought a pack of balloons like ages and ages ago, the thing is what you don't want to do is actually go, oh, I have some old balloons left and them all kind of popping in front of your face because the latex is so worn out and, and old that it's no good anymore. So you need to check those things as well. You know, the balloon pumps. Let's talk about balloon pumps as well at the same time. You know, do they still work? Or have you overused them over the years? Or is one bit missing? You know, these are things that just happen along the way. Check out those supplies and just go, okay. Or if you still have balloons when you're, you know, 59 from your 40th party, you might think to yourself, okay, we're not going to do the 40 balloons anymore. Let's see if, you know, if they still work or otherwise if they're worn out because the latex is gone. get
Yeah,
rid
I
of
think as
it.
well, because not all balloons. So that you've got the latex balloons, and then you've got the foil balloons that you buy
Yep.
typically. So sometimes you inflate them yourselves, sometimes you buy them from like a balloon shop or something, and
Yep.
then they kind of go a bit sad because they're quite cute, right? So you buy them for a party, for an 18th, for a 20th, 30th, 40th, whatever the celebration is. And then you keep them because they're nice, they bring joy, right? And so you
Yeah.
keep hold of them, and then they sort of start to deflate a little bit, and then they get a little bit sad, and then we quite often see like these deflated balloons with like a tiny bit of thing, like under the bed or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think what's really handy and what you see a lot on like giveaway apps nowadays is people sharing those balloons out and going, do you know what? I've got a fourth birthday balloon that I used my son's birthday this weekend. Does anybody want to use it? Fantastic to do
I
that kind
know.
of thing and to sort of share the love. It's not great for the balloon shops because I'm sure they don't want to hear this, but great to sort of share the love with those balloons because these things are expensive.
Yeah.
So if you feel like somebody can have a second life out of your balloon, use those giveaway apps and put them on. Somebody will snap your hand off to get it
Yeah.
because it's a real great addition to a little child's party, right?
And I think as well, Leslie, I think we all know that the foil balloons are really bad for the environment. So on the one hand, like I love a balloon, but I'm so conscious that my husband is like, why do you keep buying balloons? And I'm like, because I just love a balloon. And it's like once a year, please give me the one balloon. So if you can then at least give it to somebody else who can make use of it, then I don't know. I've got balloon guilt, but I don't know. I just love a
You
balloon.
love
It
a
cheers me
balloon. I know
up.
you love a
Yeah,
balloon.
I
Yeah, no.
know. Yeah,
So yeah, look, because she's lamenting the loss of
I
a
know.
balloon, aren't you?
I
But
know. I
people give
do.
away whole balloon arches and everything,
Yeah,
just individuals. I mean, I do love that when I see it when
yeah,
people giving away things that they have, because that's just so fantastic.
yeah.
It's sharing at its best, really.
Definitely.
So let's go to number five, Ingrid.
Yes. Unused party favors. I think is this mainly from like a wedding, Leslie, when people have like a wedding or anything like that, and you get like a lovely little party favor at the end, and then you always buy more. And I think also party favors from when the kids are little. I'm not thinking, would I as an adult do party favors? Good
I
question.
think anything goes these days, I would imagine. I mean, it's a
Hmm.
long time since I've done this kind of thing, you know what I mean? But certainly I had favors at my wedding. I
Yeah.
think people probably have favors at like
Yeah.
bridal showers and baby
Baby showers.
showers and all that kind of thing because everything's kind of gone crazy nowadays, hasn't it, in the party world? And so, but what happens, like if you've got 30 guests, for example, you're probably going to get 35 just in case there's like somebody comes last minute or whatever because you don't want anybody without, and you might just have those four or five. Often we keep a party favor as a sentimental reminder of a party that we have had, but we
Hmm.
probably don't need to keep four or five. And so if there were any that were unused or left behind, things like that, then they can go. Somebody actually, I was reading, what's it called? Mumsnet, Mumsnet, where they talk, all these mums talk about different things. And somebody, oh no, it wasn't Mumsnet. No, it wasn't Mum's Night. It was a post from somebody who said she runs a party company. She did a baby shower and she puts these little cute little furry elephants in amongst for the decor for the party. And the guests had taken the cuddly toys home with them, thinking that they could so they were part of the kind of branded, thing. And so it was all about different nationalities. So some people think that party favors are fair game and you just take them away. And some people are absolutely not. You have to wait to be asked. So in my world, I think that because you and I both done lots of events that we've run and stuff like that, like charity balls and stuff like that over time. I think it's up to the host to say, we want you to take the favors with you, right?
Yeah.
Rather than to just assume that people are going to
Yes.
take them, right? And so, but there was this big debate on this. I think it was on an Instagram channel or something, and different people. I think it was like Italian or something saying that's just part of our culture that you just take the favors, like
Yeah.
you just take them because you don't want them to go to waste. And so, I'd be really interested to know what your thoughts are on that kind of thing. If something is a table centerpiece or something like that, a wedding or event, would you just think that you could take it, or would you wait to be asked by the host. I think it was really interesting. I was fascinated by the comments basically on that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
I don't think I would not take that unless it was like when you leave and somebody gives you a bag with something like something to take away, I would go, oh, I would of course take it, but I wouldn't randomly pick stuff up
I
from.
think people do, a lot of times people do give them away because people don't want to take those kind of things home with them, particularly if they're like fresh flowers and stuff like that, or
Yes.
plants, or, people are using like, natural sort of foliage and stuff like that now.
Yeah.
And it's nice to take them home and for somebody, particularly if it's fresh flowers, for somebody to
Hmm.
enjoy it after the event and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was more about, do you take it without being told that you can take it?
Yeah.
Like, and then of course, once you say it, sometimes it's like a fight over who gets, because if there's 10 people around the table, which person's going to get it? It's like some kind of crazy, like problem at a party. So yeah,
Shall I tell you what my party favor was from my wedding? I know, totally off, well, a bit on topic, but totally kind of
yeah, go on.
not. So I had as a party favor, we gave everybody a um, candle, but there was a reason because at the time, me and Jan lived in Gouda, which is famous of two things: cheese, obviously, and candles, because you got Gouda candles, which are very good quality candles. So we actually went to a candle maker in the city center of Gouda when we lived there, and we had our kind of with the flowers that we had on our wedding card invitation and our thank yous and everything. We had them pressed onto candles, like really nice, like not like thin candles, but nice. And we had them all wrapped up. And I still have one in the original packaging, and I can't make myself to burn it. I just want to keep one,
Oh
but
no, you need to keep hold of that, don't you? I mean,
yeah,
I've still got mine as well. So mine was like a little net thing, which was a bit more traditional, where you would put almonds in them, like sugared
yeah,
almonds in them and stuff, with little ribbons and netting and stuff. So they were quite cute in the colours of the wedding. But I mean, party favors are like that's like old school, isn't it?
yeah,
Back in the 90s. Now they've gone like up like 5,000 levels. Like I
yeah.
don't think a couple of sugared almonds would cut it anymore in the favor world. But I suppose what we're saying, and the reason that we've kind of gone off track a little bit, but what we're trying to say is if you've got, leftover favors, then
Yeah.
you don't have to keep all of them. There's no point in keeping five because you can get that sentimental feeling from one. You don't need to
Yeah.
keep all of your
I
leftovers.
know, I know. So, okay, before we go to a break, then Leslie, come clean. What have you got from this stuff? I mean, I've already told you about my 18th birthday from Max Napkins, so that's definitely one. I don't have any outdated costumes or props, no old balloons, and unused party favors. No, I cleared it all out. All the kids' stuff was all cleared out when they kind of done. So I've got 1 out of 5. How are
Yeah, and
you
I've got
doing?
one. I've got the same. So I've got the plastic knives and forks that I've got a little
Yeah,
bit too many of. So I'm gonna tackle that. I'm gonna tackle
yeah.
that, Ingrid.
Okay. I love it. Let's go for a break, and we've got 5 more after. Well, everyone, welcome back. I love doing a 10 Things podcast, but talking about party supplies makes me insanely happy, and I'm really glad that we've got some parties coming up as well. So but I mean, it makes me want to clear out any random bits that we have. So let's go to number 6 then, Leslie. Duplicate things like trays and drink dispensers that we kind of buy for a big party, or we see them in the shops and think that is so cool to put lemonade in, and with the little tap that people can put their own glasses on it, and it looks amazing. And then we have a party and we completely forget that we bought the thing and this lurks in a cupboard somewhere, right? Or we buy loads and kind of realize we've overdone it a bit, and now I can't find anything in my kitchen anymore because it's full to the brim with all this stuff that I never use.
I know. I think the problem with these kind of things is they're typically quite big, aren't they? So party supplies like trays and drinks dispensers and all the things that you're talking about can be quite big. And what we've got to be careful of is that if we don't have extra space, some of us have got extra space in like garages, lofts, and all that we keep these things if we are going to do parties. But if we're trying to keep it in the main body of our kitchen, are we willing then to give a whole cupboard over, for example, to party wear, let's call it that, rather than and take it away from our day-to-day stuff. And so that's what it's about, all about compromise, really, because you may use these drinks dispensers. Ultimately, it all boils down to how often you have parties and entertain in your house and whether that's still a thing. It might be that you did in the past and you no longer do that. And so, and actually, whether or not you can borrow from somebody else, also possible, whether you can rebuy if that's what you want to do. Sometimes we have to go, you know what? I'm probably not going to have a party for another 5, 6, 7 years, but I don't want to keep that stuff for 7 years. But I'm willing to take the expense of paying for that again in 7 years if ever I need it again, or borrowing it or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just have to be realistic and honest with yourself about what actually happens in your house, don't you?
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, we had an amazing wedding from my brother-in-law a couple of months ago, and they actually, long story short, they had lots of chandeliers. But they didn't want to buy them new, so they for months like scoured charity shops and Facebook Marketplace and bought all these secondhand chandeliers to decorate a hall, and it absolutely looked
Oh,
amazing.
wow.
And the next day, when we helped kind of break it all down, they were like, "Do you want a chandelier?" I'm like, "No, thanks. I don't
Yeah,
need a
they were like,
chandelier."
here's take a table favor, chandelier home with you.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. But they
yeah,
would have been really easy to get rid of
yeah.
back to the same place that they
Oh
came
yeah,
from Facebook Marketplace, from earlier, from giveaway sites.
yeah,
Somebody might have wanted a chandelier, but definitely you would be able to pass them. But what a lovely idea to do that, but it looks stunning.
yeah. It was amazing.
You've not sent me a picture of that.
Oh, I definitely need to do that because they did an honestly. But my sister-in-law has got amazing taste anyway. They've got all this. She's got this lovely style about her, and yeah, it was honestly it was lovely. They had like drinks trolleys, and I mean it was amazing. But she borrowed stuff from her sister. She had some stuff from herself. She scoured the charity shops for things like that because she just didn't want to buy it all new.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I really see that with my son Max, for example. He is like a thrifter. He loves going to thrift stores and charity shops. And he called me the other week that he found a vintage pair of jeans somewhere that he absolutely loved. So because he's like, I'm a student, I don't have money to buy all these expensive things, but he still wants to look smart. So yeah, I
But
love
they're
that.
much better. That is the sort of Gen Zers, I would say, are much better at thrifting than we ever
Yeah,
were. So
yeah,
Leah never ever pays full price for anything. Actually, to be fair, she did pay full price for her Bridgerton costumes and everything because that's very specific. But her clothes that she buys, but that's only you can only do that if you're a certain size, and do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Not everybody can do that. It's not as simple, but she does that, which
yeah,
is brilliant. And Nathan buys most of his stuff secondhand as well. So
yeah,
they are really good at that kind of thing, I think,
yeah,
Gen
yeah,
Zers, because,
yeah,
well, A, because it's quite cool, I think, so they like that kind of look, and B, because there's much better places nowadays.
yeah,
So I think you've got secondhand shops, then you've got thrift stores that are a bit more cool and edgy. So there's like different types of ways to repurpose things, right?
yeah.
So yes, that is our number 6.
Yes. Number 7. Get rid of all the stuff. If you've ever thrown like a certain party at your house back in 2012, or even if you still have decorations from the millennium when we went from 1999 to 2000, and you still have the banners and the things and the napkins and the hair things and all of that, look at that and go, what realistically am I still going to use from this stuff? If you once did an amazing Hawaiian party, but I'm never going to do a Hawaiian party ever again, donate it, give it away. Don't let it clutter up your cupboards. There is actually such a thing as there's too much, too good of how do you say that? Too much of a good thing going, right? Just don't keep everything.
It's funny, you talk about the millennium because we were talking about the kids. We were trying to explain like the hype around the millennium, right? Because they were all little. Because I mean, Leah was 99, so she was 2, and Luke was 5, and Nathan wasn't even born yet. And so we were trying to explain that everybody thought like the world was going to come to an end. There was going to be some like computer glitch, didn't they? And the whole place was going to implode in 2000. And I was like,
Yeah.
all of the kind of well, not conspiracy theories, but theories that there was going to be this massive computer glitch, and it just kind of went I'll go 2000, fine.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to explain to them. Everybody was like, but anyway, but it was, certainly once in a lifetime for most people to see a new millennium in. So it's nice that we went through that process.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, absolutely. You've got, just things from a certain event, just really evaluate whether or not you're ever going to use that again. Um, One thing that sort of finds its way, and this is our number 8, into our party supplies, is random candles, half burnt tea lights, party candles that are half burnt down. And I think we spoke about this a few weeks ago, Ingrid, on our junk drawer podcast as well. How far burnt down is too far burnt down to keep it for a next use. You know what I mean? It's like you've got to it's got to weigh up, haven't you? Like,
Yeah.
if you're doing a cake for somebody and you've got like little birthday candles that are like 1 centimeter high instead of 4 centimeters high, does it look a little bit plebeian? Do you know what I mean? Or is that okay? And that's what I don't know. So
Yeah.
it's about evaluating that. And the
Yeah.
half burnt tea lights, you know, take the half burnt ones out and use them before you use the new ones. We're not suggesting that you throw those away because they've still got life in them, but make sure that you use the half burnt ones before you
Yeah.
use the new ones, I think. So look at
Yeah.
those candles.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're thinking to yourself, I see a lot of kind of half-burned candles in people's windowsills, close to the sink. Yeah, yeah, we had a party and these still need to be washed up. But if you get cake and sweet stuff stuck on them, it's just never really great, right? Or the little plastic things where the little candles go into. And it's like, oh, there's like this random little tray of kind of stuff that you think, okay, we're either gonna wash it up now and put it away, or we're just gonna have to let it go because we can't let this live on a windowsill to deteriorate even further. So get that job done. If you got a party and you've got to have a candle that's like 3 seconds used, immediately, wash it up, put it back in the little box, put it back with your party supplies,
Well,
and
not
it's
immediately because you're
well, no,
enjoying the
I
party,
know,
aren't
but
you?
yeah, but okay, the
Ingrid, okay,
next
it's time to wash the candles now, as opposed to have another glass of prosecco, celebrating with my friends and family. I bet she would do that though, because she's quite weird. Anyway, wouldn't you? I know she'd be like, needs to sort candles out right now. She's, she's not denying it, everybody. She's not denying it,
then
right?
just do it the next day, but just don't leave it. That's what we don't want stuff growing on it, right? That's just not good. I'm just gonna quickly move on to number 9. And because we were talking like how big of a party, do you do? Because I remember from like when I was growing up, my mom was one of 6 or 7. And so when we had birthday parties at our house, for my mom's birthday, my father's birthday, that's when we would see all the family. So the chairs would like come from everywhere, right? From all the bedrooms, all the chairs got dragged down, and there was some chairs in the shed, and there was we didn't have a garage, so in the shed there were. And at some point, you kind of have to go, is this furniture still like, do people still enjoy sitting on this furniture for like longer than 20 minutes, right? Because it gets a bit rickety, it gets a bit old. You don't want people to fall through and hurt themselves, And of course, maybe you've come to realize, wow, yeah, we used to do kind of big parties, but we don't anymore. We now either meet up in a restaurant or we always go to my daughter's or son's house, or I rather have everybody come downstairs in the local, I don't know, Starbucks or Costas for a
What,
coffee.
I'm sorry. Why are we going to Starbucks for a family party?
No, 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 not the family party. But if you gotta want to do a coffee or something with your friends that you maybe know from like
Okay, I
your,
see what you mean. Like a
you,
coffee morning.
yeah, like a coffee
I
morning
thought
that
you
you
meant like,
maybe.
you know what? I'm 40. Let's go to Starbucks. That sounds like fun. Like, no.
No, I
I'd
know my
rather sit on a chair that was about to break in my garden than go to Starbucks for a 40th birthday party.
I know. My head,
Maybe
my
useful.
head went, my thinking went quicker than what was coming out. But you see what I mean? Those just don't keep all of the stuff. If you don't do big things in your house anymore, why you still have all the furniture and the standing tables and and all of the glasses and all of the cutlery and all of the things we talked about before. But it also goes for furniture.
It does. It does indeed. So before we get to number 10, Ingrid, I just want to just hark back to our little party that we had. We had a joint party, didn't we, in February?
Yes,
How much
I
fun was
know.
that? We didn't have to bring any of these things because no, we did. We celebrated. We did a really nice kind of a classic thing, didn't we? Had all the canvases. So it was our book launch party. Ingrid was not. Ingrid loves a party. Right at the beginning, we're like, "Are we going to have a party for the book launch?" And Ingrid was like, I don't care what you think. We are totally having a party for the book launch. Like basically, it was a non-negotiable. So we went to this beautiful hotel in London, and it was all put on, and we so it was very classy, wasn't it? We were a very classy party. So and we were very well looked after at a hotel that Ingrid's husband works at, and so it was an incredible thing. But it was nice to celebrate a party together, wasn't it, Ingrid?
I know. You know what? Honestly, it's what was a highlight. It's good. It's not going to be only a highlight from this year. I think it was, from a highlight so far from us working together in the Declutter Hub. But I think it's been a highlight from for our careers as well. You know what I mean? Just to celebrate with our family, our friends, our fellow professional organizers, our members were there, and just to be able to celebrate the fact that we, wrote our book and it's coming out soon as well in the rest of the world, so we're excited about that. But I I look back on that party with so much, just I loved it. It was honestly a highlight, and we didn't need to sort out tables and chairs because they really took care of them. But we had the canvases there. We got 12 easels, and we had canvases of the beautiful illustrations that are in our book. We had them blown up on canvases, and yeah, it just looked amazing.
It did. I wish we could go like it'd be nice to have a party in every country that the book's out in, wouldn't it? Could go on to do a little party in Australia and New Zealand and another party in Canada. But no, sadly, we are not able to do that in the same way that we are not able to celebrate our 350th podcast episode. But one day we will go global and
Yes.
celebrate over there. But anyway, let's go to number 10. I was just being all nostalgic then when we were talking about parties
I
and thought
know.
about me. And it was nice to have a party together. I
Yeah.
had conceded that it was a good thing to do. We had a
Yeah.
lot of fun together. It was nice to
And let's be honest about it. We are professional organizers. This was like the best organized party ever.
Yeah, it was definitely, definitely so much.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Number 10, outdated or unused party games. Leslie, come clean. Do you have party games? And if so, like what?
what do you think?
Well, I think maybe for a party, there's two kind of different things. I think maybe one time like more garden party games, like maybe I know jeu de boule or croquet or kind of those kind of things for like when you do a garden party. And I know some of my clients have stuff like that in their garage, in their sheds and stuff like that as well. And on the other hand, I'm thinking maybe like a pub quiz or like when you've got like a smaller party with friends and you want to do like a pub quiz or a music quiz or something like that. So that's what I think of when I think of party games.
Do you know what my favorite party game is?
What?
Um, Taking a tub of something like roses or Quality Street or celebrations and getting everybody to line them up in their order of preference. It's literally, if ever you want to do anything, it's like the best game because people love it. And everyone's like, oh my, can't believe you put Bounty at the top. Like, bounties are horrible. And oh my God, why have you got cream eggs at the top? That kind of thing. I mean, these are all like British chocolate things, really. So if you're anywhere else in the world, but those kind of combination boxes of chocolates where you've got different types of chocolate in them and you rank them and everybody's got different. It's very, very. It's a great party game, just saying.
I want to do this party game with you because I know we're going to be like so
So
different.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I bet
Yeah.
you're like
So,
nut and aren't you? Coconut. You choose like coconut and nuts and toffee, wouldn't you?
yeah, caramel,
Yeah.
caramel.
Yeah, and I'm a
Uh,
cream gal, so I'm like coffee creams, orange creams, strawberry
oh,
creams,
no, no,
cream eggs.
no,
Yes,
nothing.
Steve. No, we knew that we'd be different. We knew that we'd be different. Tell us, are you a toffee nut? That kind. I mean, coconut like bounties.
Yeah, that's my husband's favorite bounties.
I know.
Favorite.
People love them, no, don't they? I can never do it. It's just like, no, I don't mind coconut. I don't like mind coconut milk, but just in a chocolate, it's a no from me. It's a no
Yeah.
from me.
I could.
My favorite chocolate bar is a Fry's chocolate cream. Have you ever had one?
Mm-mm,
Because you're not from here, are you?
no.
So, well, I mean, you have lived here for 20 years, to be fair, so you might have seen one around in the shops at some point. But yeah, it's like old school Fry's chocolate cream, and they have peppermint, original, orange, beautiful, dark chocolate, perfect.
I mean, anything with chocolate and orange should be banned, or chocolate and strawberries, or chocolate with. Ugh! Why? Why? Never ever give me a chocolate orange because I will not be happy,
I
bunny.
love them. I love
Do you
them.
like white chocolate?
Less,
Yeah,
a bit too sweet for me.
yeah,
I prefer milk chocolate actually,
yeah,
but I do
yeah,
like dark chocolate as well.
yeah.
So,
Agreed.
but
Okay.
anyway,
Phew.
I
And
don't think this was part of the podcast, Lee, but
no,
yeah.
no.
But that
As
is the best party game. You just literally get a box and you get everybody to do it, and everybody looks and you line them up one under the other. So I'll show you next time. And well, we know now what you're going to choose anyway. So
Yeah, yeah. But maybe there's some rogue ones in there. We'll have to do this now. But anyway, if you've got party games that you think, oh yeah, we did that, we played it when the kids were younger, or when we had kids parties and we had some party games for for the garden, and the kids are like now 16, you might think to yourself, I might have to let this go. Or you have like a kids' bouncy castle and all the kids are like 20 now, right? Let it go. Don't keep it. It's just going to take up valuable space. So I know we've talked about lots of other stuff beside party things, but we hope you've enjoyed this podcast. And of course, that makes us wonder, have you got a party coming up soon and you think after listening to this whole kind of crazy podcast, I need to do some clearing out. I need to check the stock on some of these things. I need to look at the quality of some of these things because if you don't use it very often, after a party, you kind of just put it all away quickly and you kind of never think, oh, I need to sort this out and have a look at it. So that's your job for this weekend. Once you've listened to this podcast, let it go and sort it out. So yeah, Leslie, I think that's it for this week. I think that's all we've got time for.
it was quite celebratory because we talked about things because even though it's our 350th podcast, which we couldn't celebrate, we celebrate. We talked about our weddings. We talked about your 50th party with the things. We talked about our book launch parties. So in a weird kind of way, we've gone back into the archives and we've retrospectively celebrated some of the lovely things in our lives, Ingrid.
Well, and on that note, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks so much for listening to the Declutter Hub podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to us in your podcast player so you don't miss an episode, and we'll see you next week.